Hello, welcome to Professor Skye's Record Review, the only first listen new music review show hosted by a French professor immediately after leaving the gym. Now, I listen to and review a lot of rap music, especially sort of the more obscure, offbeat, alternative stuff. And I listen to a lot of stuff I really don't like, especially a lot of the new trap music. I like some of it, but in order for trap music to really get me, it has to be so excellent, so well done. The main thing that I miss about rap in the 90s is that the sort of baseline hip hop, like just the generic rap, was much better than it is now. Now, I'm not saying that the highs were higher and that the lows are lower. I don't know. I'm too old, really. Like, my ability to appreciate new hip hop is really tainted by age. But I can definitely tell that, like, if a rap group just puts out a generic album, it's going to be mostly trap beats. It's going to be really rudimental. It's going to be like no samples. And the keyboards might just be like on octaves and then ricky-ticky hi-hat. So when a new group comes out, like Griselda, with an album WWCD, that's feels very much like a throwback to the 90s, it makes me really appreciative. Now, when I say throwback, I don't think it's intentional. I don't think that this group is trying to like make real hip-hop and like and I don't know, it doesn't feel to me like they're some kind of, I don't know, Greta Van Fleet of hip-hop, like trying to make things back the way they used to be. But it's more that I feel that they're trying to lock into a specific mode of rapping that has basically gone away. And it's weird because it's not like people completely abandoned the production style or approach of Wu-Tang Clan or the thematics of rappers like Pusha-T. But still, this record is amazingly consistent. Thematically, it's about selling crack and trafficking crack, and that's it. A little bit about like maybe having clothes and women around, a little bit. But it's amazingly thematically cohesive. On a production level, it's amazingly cohesive in the way that it's produced. From start to finish, it's like nice, grimy samples, very little added on top of it. And the whole thing is just this beautifully concocted album that just feels like a cohesive single thought. And that single thought is very well done. I apologize for the sound. This is like the 5th take I've done. I have my washing machine going. I got my heater. My daughter and wife are watching Frozen upstairs. So there's just going to be a little bit of buzz. But it's all right, because this album is grimy. And I really love that grime. I had some time today, actually, to do a little bit of research about the band. It took me a long time to actually get down here and record this. Man, the heater's really going. Do you know why the heater's going? Because I live in Western New York. And when you live in Western New York, you are very cold. And that's what it turns out this band is also from. Oh my God, Skye. You can't hit stop now. This is like your 5th take. You're just gonna have to ride this. You're just gonna have to ride this. So in my research, apparently this group is also from Buffalo. So I don't know. When I think about living in Western New York and I think about people trying to make art here, it's very difficult. We're very far from the sort of cultural centers of Los Angeles or Chicago or New York. And the idea of being able to actually produce something so excellent and so authentic from Buffalo, I don't know. I'm only an hour away, so that made me happy. Also, apparently, the group is 2 brothers and a cousin. And the reason that took me so long to record this is because I had to help my brother buy a couch. He's just moving here. So I don't know, the whole thing has this cohesive feeling to it that so many rap albums don't. Every single track is produced by 2 people, and those 2 people are in the stable of the record label that made this, Griselda Records. So it's like you have 3 people rhyming, 2 people producing, all the way throughout, and it all works. God damn, I wish more rap was like this. Now, when it comes to the thematics of crack and rap, they really do feel a lot like Pusha-T. By that, I mean, I sort of wish they didn't rap so much about crack and pushing drugs, right? You get a little bit tired of it. I mean, it's weird because, like, Pusha-T is so good. He's like one of the best rhymers out there. But all he does is just goof around with these different slang and different ways of saying the same thing over and over again to the point of abstraction, where really it's like they could be rapping about nothing. And this group, Griselda, does the same thing. They just throw in just so much lingo and so much rapping about fish and witnessing and jail time and all this stuff. And it's cool. It's cool. It's interesting, but it almost feels like there's talent wasted. But on the other hand, is it? I mean, what else should rappers be rapping about? How great they are? All right. How rich they are? Is that even really better? I don't know. Maybe actually crack rap is one of the more interesting subjects, because the conscious stuff about like fighting the government, that's okay, but it often feels a little bit strained. The stuff about how rich you are, how good you are, I don't know. There might be something, and this is just a kind of riffing here, and I'm not going to hit stop again. I'm just kind of riffing here, like maybe like crack rap is one of the most interesting kinds of rap that can be made, because it is so clearly divided from reality. There's so unlikely that these three guys are actual gangsters. I think it's unlikely that Pusha-T was gangsters. I don't know. I don't look things up on whatever Reddit to figure out if these guys are real. But it actually doesn't matter. It's just an excuse. It is the vehicle through which these artists can express their creativity. Now, this is, as I think I think you get the sense that I'm trying to push through here, that this is a great album and you really need to listen to it. What's funny is, and I got the Wu-Tang sign here, the weakest part of the album is the intro. It's Raekwon the Chef just sort of like saying like, I love you guys, man. Keep your family. We're militants. You gotta fight for your respect. And he's just kind of ad-libbing, and it's the worst part of the album, but it needs to be there. Because it is sort of the imprimatur, the sort of the stamp that lets you know these guys are for real, they're respected by these old heads, and that they can actually do something, right? But then from there on, just the album is great. And I don't even know, when I do these reviews, at times there are albums where I can't pick one song. I can't pick a stamp, right, to say this is what you should listen to. And that's the case with this record. The whole thing is astoundingly consistent. There's like one skit that's not that funny where they sing like, I'll put a hole in your head. The outro song is a little bit weak. The intro song is a little bit weak, but everything in the middle is just great. And one of the best things about them is that there's three rappers and each one of them is very distinct. One thing that Wu-Tang Clan was able to do, and very few group rappers are able to do, is have distinctive voices. I read this article while I was looking these guys up while I was waiting for my brother to buy a couch at West Elm, because that's how gangster I am. And it was saying, which member is the best? Like, that's the question. And anytime you can ask that question of a rap group, you're probably doing pretty well. You probably have an interesting crew, right? So, first you got West Side Gun, who does this whole like he makes all these sounds all the time, which is just kind of funny. He has a really high voice. At times it's even kind of Flavor Flavy in a good way, And he's kind of like straining. And so that goes really well with Benny the Butcher, who's right in the mid-range. Definitely the best rapper of the crew, best rhymes. He's kind of funny. I think he says, I'm 5'8", I'm 6'11" when I'm standing on my bricks. Just kind of funny stuff like that. I mean, I've never held a brick. I don't know what a brick looks like. I don't know what a brick costs. I feel like I should based on how much rap music I listen to, but still. And then Conway the Machine, which is like kind of the low range, kind of a raspy voice. So you have all three of these, and like, kind of like Injury Reserve, who I reviewed earlier, they have like a three-man weave going for most of their songs, like where one jumps in, the other comes in, and then the other comes in, and just the interplay between their voices. And that's set on every track. There's not one track that's like, oh, that's a Benny song, or oh, that's a Conway song. Like, they all come in together and they all play off each other. So in the first track, after the intro, Chef Dreads, just great rhymes. Benny the Butcher, I just love this guy. His first rap reminds me of some of my favorite Ghostface Killer rhymes, where like he uses words and you know every word, but you don't understand why is he combining the words in this way. He says, I throw a barrel at your pumpkin. I love it. Okay? I get it. Maybe he's shooting you in the head. Who cares? But just right now, okay, pause the video and turn to someone and say, I throw a barrel at your pumpkin. This is what hip-hop music has done for us. It's given us these amazing ways of thinking about language and combining words so unexpectedly. Just excellent. And then you kind of have like the whole time you have a great sample. That might be That's not going to be my stamp. I'll tell you what song I'm going to play for you. It's called Cruiserweight Coke. Again, I know what all those words mean. I don't know how they all go together. I am, despite my profession as a French professor, I've never spent any time in a trap house. It's a great, I'll play it for you, okay? So it's a great languid sample, just a really grimy sample. And all the rhymes are kind of about dealing coke and doing time, but then there's like a nice guitar that goes behind, and these relentless rhymes, and one after the other. Just this great weaving of these voices all together. And sort of ends with this really cool kind of menacing part where West Side Gun just talks about how he knows where your mama stays and where your grandma stays, and just kind of fun, menacing gangster stuff. So I'll give you an example of what it sounds, and hopefully the heater will turn off in this time.
It's not even close. The double R colored in and the shotty is close. That's the Buffalo. They catch the bodies the most. 30 on my hip, I bet I will not get approached. My son gon' be a hustler, I see it all in his eyes. I know where your mama stay. I know.
Okay, hopefully that was good. Hopefully you heard what I heard. If you liked it, just listen to the rest of the record, because it's all like that. It's all well done gangster raps. They barely ever rap about sex or about money or about cars. Hey, the heater turned off. Nice. I am professional. I make so much money off this channel. Another great track, another one to listen to if you like that. I would follow that up with That Old Groove. Has kind of like a vibraphone. The producers on this album, again, just two people producing the whole thing, are very brave in the way that they use like samples where it sounds like the drummer is losing time. And that's something that RZA would do with old Wu-Tang tracks. And it creates this tension where you're like, is the drummer falling asleep? And then it's a loop. So like it comes back, and each time, it's excellent. Really give it a shot. There's a track with 50 Cent, where 50 Cent's actually pretty good. I don't always love him, but that song is called Put the City on My Back. It made me realize that these guys remind me a little bit of a better version of the old Boston group, the Hangmen. Because, I'm from Boston, so I remember liking Hangmen, or trying to like the Hangmen. I don't know. The Made Men. No, the Hangmen. Did the Hangmen become the Made Men? No, they're different. Anyways, they're two different Boston groups. But either way, the desire to put an unknown city kind of on the map. But really, these guys are better than both of them. This is really a great record. Then it ends with a track called Bang, which has Eminem on it. Apparently, they're on Eminem's label, which is great because Eminem comes to play. He does an awesome verse. He comes to play. Skye, he comes to play? Okay, sorry, I don't edit myself, so I'm just mad at me. You can be mad at me too. I can't say things that weak. Okay, oh great, now they're walking around upstairs. Okay, so Eminem comes, and he just doesn't sleep. Like, often when huge rappers make appearances on young rappers or new rappers' albums, they just kind of do a standard verse and they say the same thing that you're used to them saying. He does this long list of explanations of people who he's had beef with, like Cannabis and Ja Rule, and he talks all about what it's like to kill a rapper's career, and then he goes on and on about who you shouldn't compare him to. And it's just, I don't know. When Eminem's on, he's so great. And especially in this context where he's not producing his own beats. I don't like his production that much. But he's on with these other rappers who are doing their own thing. And it makes me really happy that he has a label, that he's putting out good music like Griselda. So there you go. Just about as much of a recommendation as I can give on a rap album. If you find rapping about crack too sad, which I do sometimes because I hate thinking about what Reagan did to the inner city, like it's so sad, like it's really sad. But if you can do what I do when I listen to crack raps and just pretend that I'm watching The Wire, which is probably what the majority of people who rap about selling crack have actually done, right? So I try to imagine it like that, to try and distance myself from it, and then you can just appreciate it as art, because it is great art. Okay, so thank you for staying with me. I apologize for the sound. I stopped the washing machine halfway through, and now I have to figure out how to start it again. The drama continues. I live a rough life. Okay, until next time, there's the camera. So it's the next day, and I'm uploading the video, and I realized, like, it might be my best video, even though I don't like it. So I almost re-recorded it, but my daughter was upstairs and she overheard me saying it. She was all like, Dad, that was good, so I'm keeping it. I will say, I forgot to say one thing, and this is what I'm going to use as the tagline for the video. There's something about this album that is elegant. And I don't know why that word is really coming to me, because it's a brutal album about selling crack and killing people and killing people's families and all that. But maybe it's just the cohesion. It's just the fact that so few people are making it, you know, that we're just so tired of this, the armies of producers and armies of guest appearances and armies of just people coming in, that here we have just like a family making a nice album. And I don't know, if we pretend that instead of crack, he's talking about selling music, or they're talking about selling music, maybe that's better. I don't know. So I'm putting this video out there. Might be my worst, might be my best. I do like subscribing when you do it. So there you go. All right. Elegant crack raps.